Bayley wants to do something unthinkable in WWE, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is because she recently talked about it. And when I saw this interview, I was like, "Oh, I have to talk about this. I have to share this with the channel members because Bayley is someone when she speaks, people listen. They respect what she has to say. They respect what she's done in the pro wrestling industry and in the landscape. I mean, she's given her blood, sweat, and tears to this business, impacting this business, changing the focus of this business, influencing other stars, other wrestlers, other fans to become wrestlers and then stars, right? That's what she's been able to do. Now, in 2024, she's had her ups and she's had her downs, but for sure, people will look at 2024, I believe, as her breakout year. And as we go into 2025, people are looking to seeing what could be next for Bayley. What can she do to somehow, some way top 2024? Because when you go from having the peak of a group in which you pitched for years and created and put together and risen up the ranks on WWE television and consistently being booked and pushed, then winning the Women's Royal Rumble match for the first time in your career, then going on to WrestleMania 40 and winning the championship from a stable member in which you had to convince WWE to bring back because they were going to let her walk in Io Sky, and then going on a multiple month reign as women's champion. Yet you best believe that's something to hang your hat on. You best believe that's something that you should be proud of. And I'm certainly confident in saying that Bayley is as well. Now, she's also had her downturn, right? Because she dropped the women's championship to Nia Jax. She put over Candice LeRae on a SmackDown episode. She put over Nia Jax yet again at Bad Blood. And as we go into 2024, it's like, okay, or into 2025, it's what can Bayley do to top this year? Now, she is coming off of a recent win at Survivor Series, being part of the winning team of the Women's War Games match. But while appearing on the Going Wild or World, podcast, she talked about who her dream opponent for WrestleMania would be, which is actually a very interesting question. And this is what she had to say. I would probably like to work with someone in NXT. Roxanne Perez, because she's killing it as the NXT Women's Champion. She's so smooth. I'm selfish. I know everybody wants to work with her, but I'm selfish. So I want to get with her on a Mania match. I think it'd be really special, and we're really tight friends, so I would love that. That is what's the unthinkable thing. What could she do to top her career? What could she do to change the business? And I know that sounds ridiculous, okay? Hear me out. Roxanne Perez her nickname is the Prodigy. Why is that? Because she is different. She's one of the youngest talents in which WWE has ever signed. She's also one of the youngest talents right now in NXT who is on top and who has been on top. Now, she comes from Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion / school. They were very high on her when she signed with the company. She, in fact, had her first breakout moment in ROH. And it was a huge moment when WWE signed her because everyone knew, okay, this woman just has it. She has it. She can work. She can cut a promo. She has her character down already. And all she has to do is continuously have reps and get better. But starting out on the building blocks, this woman is really, really good. She's someone special. And so for Bayley to see someone like Roxanne Perez, who could be a generational type talent, and I honestly believe that, for her to want to have a WrestleMania match and likely put her over, that would set up Roxanne Perez for future success. It would be a game-changing, career-changing type moment, but more importantly, it would be a game-changing type moment for the women's division as well as the company, because Roxanne Perez is going to be around for the next, 10, 15 years? Bayley will not. She has to set up other talents to take over in her spots. And just like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and the others, they have to do so as well. And there's a lot of good talent in NXT right now. You have your Julias and your Stephanie Valkyras and your Jada Parkers. And obviously now on the main roster, Liv Morgan has found her own. Tiffany Stratton has found her own. There's a lot of young talent out there that can be developed and or shined upon and build that women's division up more. But having a core, having a key piece of that is Roxanne Perez, right? Because everyone is so high on her. She's almost like a Braun Breaker where it's like, you knew this person was going to be special the very first time you saw them step foot inside of the short circle, whether that's to cut a promo, whether that's to work a match. You knew they were going to be special. You saw it, and it was just a matter of when WWE would click with the fan base. And for a lot of them, they've clicked right away. Braun has clicked right away. Roxanne has clicked right away. Stephanie Valkyria, Julia, right? And so the unthinkable is to change the women's division, to change women's wrestling, to change it in WWE and the business as a whole, because we have talent right now who are some of the biggest names in the business. Whether that is a Mercedes Moné back in AEW, whether that is a Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, right? And Bianca Belair. Those are some of the biggest names in the business right now. Roxanne Perez, and I honestly believe this, has the potential to be bigger than those stars, aside from a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair. I think those two are just outliers. I think Charlotte Flair will go down as a GOAT in terms of women's wrestling. I think Becky Lynch will go down as someone who changed women's wrestling in a different way. It gave it more of a serious edge to it in terms of, like, you didn't need to be a babyface or a heel. You can be a tweener, just like Steve Austin was like that for wrestling for men. I think Becky Lynch will go down as that for women. But when it comes to Roxanne Perez, she can play either part, and Bayley knows that. So you can do babyface versus babyface, you can do heel versus heel. You could have Bayley be babyface and Roxanne be heel, or vice versa. You could have a championship on the line. You could have a singles match. You could hype it as a generational type match, right? A crossing of the guard, or a changing of the guard, I should say. There's so many different ways in which you can build this match up, in which you have it at WrestleMania, in which you have it mean something, in which you have it be outlasting and memorable. And I think WWE fans will rally behind that. Hey, maybe you do a retirement type stipulation between Bayley and Roxanne Perez if you don't want a title on the line, or you could have a title on the line. There's so many different avenues. There's so many different ways in which they can do that is a positive. It's a positive to Bayley's legacy. It's a positive to Roxanne Perez's career. It's a positive for women's wrestling. It's a positive for the fans accepting women's wrestling in which we know it going forward, right? Where we can't even see where women's wrestling is going. Just like Bayley and Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch and countless others saw women's wrestling going years ago before the revolution happened. Yeah, that can happen as well. Yeah, that can be on the forefront of fans' minds. Yeah, Roxanne Perez could be part of that. She has that type of potential. She has that type of value in which she brings the company. Bayley sees that, and she wants to capitalize on that. And I expect that to happen sooner rather than later.